Rotary and Executive Director of the Rotary Camp for Children with Special Needs. So we're really excited to hear Dan give us an update about what's going on and show us some awesome photos of the newest investment. But just a little background, I didn't realize that Dan actually started working at the camp as a counselor and then took over. So be careful where you let Dan in, because he's a mover and a shaker. But we're excited that he now is the district executive director working with Rotary Camp and Camp Wainoa and the branch day camps. He got his bachelor's in therapeutic recreation from Slippery Rock University, and he's a member of American Camp Association and served on their National Standards Committee. He also serves on the YMCA U.S. Overnight Camping Cabinet, and he's busy within our club. He's a board member of the Summit Humane Society, volunteers on the Facilities Committee for the Girl Scouts of Northeast Ohio, and has a lovely wife of 18 years and has a son, Christopher, 15, and Kaylee, 12. So he's surviving the teen years in quarantine. That may be an interesting story by itself. But Dan, please take it away.
Well, thank you, and good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. It's always a pleasure to be here. I will share my camping story from childhood that didn't really go as planned. You know, I was a Boy Scout for a couple of years, and we did a lot of weekend trips, weekend campouts throughout the school year. And the pinnacle experience was going to scout camp for a week. Well, so I got to scout camp. I lasted till Wednesday and sat at the dining hall until my mom came and picked me up on visitor day, and I was out of there. That was the end of that experience. So somehow I got bit by the camping bug, and here I am today, and I am eternally grateful. So I did want to share an update today with you about camp and where we're at, the impact COVID-19 has had on us. And obviously we want to celebrate the Bud Rogers Adventure Park and give a short glimpse into the future of camp and where we're going. So I do appreciate everyone taking the time out of their busy schedule today to talk about camp with me. Now, if I can advance the slides, we'll be good. This is my first Zoom presentation, so bear with me as I stumble through it. So when COVID-19 hit and everything closed in March in the state of Ohio, obviously camp was impacted as well. We worked very hard to open camp this summer, and it was not until June that the governor had released guidelines for overnight camps. I was privileged enough to serve on the governor's task force for overnight camps and day camps, so I did have some inside track, and it did help us as we were able to finally open in July. Some of the modifications for camp this summer included limited campers. We capped our enrollment at 24 campers. We increased staffing to help support cleaning and end the camp modifications. We had 4 separate groups of campers, and each of them ate in separate places. So there was no congregating in the dining hall this summer. Hand washing was a big piece of communication, and we worked hard with our campers on that, as well as temperature checks. Every day, every staff member, every camper had their temperature taken. Cabin groups could not intermingle. Everyone was in their independent cohort, which is my new favorite word of COVID. But there weren't any group games, there weren't any campfires or songs this summer at camp. And while there were a lot of things that were different, there were so many things that were similar. Campers had a great time doing activities and playing and making friends and, you know, just gaining some independence, and we were able to give some parents a respite. Our original schedule was to operate 5 weeks of summer camp, but at the end of week 3, one of the staff members became ill. So we immediately canceled the next week as 7 of our staff were in quarantine. 2 days later, a second staff member began to develop symptoms as well. So at that time, decided it was probably best to cancel the final week of summer. The good news is later that week we found out that both staff members tested negative for COVID-19, and I'm just eternally grateful for that, and no other campers or staff reported being ill throughout the summer. We have taken some time now, and we've reevaluated, and we're now moving forward with our respite weekend programs. The Bud Rogers Adventure Park. It's pretty awesome. If you've been out to camp for anything or driven by and seen it, you can see how cool it is, and I look forward to everyone being able to come to camp and experience it. It was completed this spring with the initial staff training in early March. It was built by a company from Texas called Adventure Experiences. They go around the country building these types of contraptions. And construction began immediately after the regatta. The total cost for the project was about $315,000. Every camper had the opportunity to experience the adventure park this past summer. No matter what the camper's abilities are, they can participate. So whether they can walk or if they use a wheelchair, there are no physical limitations to the adventure park. We can control the speed on the zip line as it's on a hydraulic pulley system operated by a staff member on the ground. This allows us to place Gabe's wheelchair right under him as he is lowered to the ground. Amanda, in the background, you can see, was our camp photographer this summer, and she gave every camper a framed photograph and certificate of their experience on the adventure park. Let's pause for a second and see Gabe landing safely in his chair. It's a pretty cool experience, everything that the adventure park represents for our campers. So I am so thankful for all the donors and everyone who helped make this happen this summer. So what's the real deal? Dan, where is camp at financially? Well, like many other industries, the camping industry has been devastated by COVID-19. According to the Massachusetts Camping Association, 30% of summer camps will permanently close. We are forecasting Rotary Camp's total deficit to be about $100,000 this year. We are thankful that, our fundraising efforts, happened in February, the Chili Open and the Polar Bear Jump. Otherwise, we'd be in a very different financial position as well. We are working hard to minimize the impact of this deficit. We have eliminated all year-round part-time positions. This includes maintenance positions, a food service manager, part-time clerical support in the office, and a program coordinator. I've worked with Tina on our summer camp program, as we scaled camp back into what I like to refer to as the good old days. For the next 2 years, we have cut, program coordinator positions, our media specialist, and we are limiting volunteer engagement. We have spent resources on improved cleaning products, PPE, and extra support staff to help meet the needs of the campers. We are not serving any outside groups right now. With the limited staff to clean and support the groups, we feel it's in the best interest to focus on our campers and families without distractions. Mela is always working hard at finding alternative funding sources. And at this time, I'd just like to thank everyone who donated to the backpack fundraising campaign. So far, it's raised over $19,000, and all the supplies have just come in for the backpacks. So we're going to be recruiting volunteers to help assemble them and get them shipped out to our campers. As many of you know, our regatta is held every other year and is a big fundraiser for camp and our capital needs. And the regatta also happens in collaboration with the Communal, the Stephen Communal Foundation fundraiser. As a result of COVID-19, the Communal event was postponed to 2021. The camp board and the regatta committee thought it was in our best interest to postpone our event to 2022, and I completely agree. And actually this works out in a pretty awesome way, as it will align with our 100th anniversary in 2024. So what's next? You know, there are so many great things happening at camp. First, our cornhole tournament this past weekend was very successful. I'd like to give a shout out to Rotarian Scott Culligan, who founded this event 11 years ago in his backyard. His passion and his family's support have helped this event continue over the years. Starting this weekend, we are back in business. We are hosting respite weekends, and we're excited to see about 24 campers come this coming weekend to camp. We have also invited families to come to camp, one family at a time for free. So while the weather is nice, they have the opportunity to experience our adventure park or go on a pontoon boat ride. As the weather turns colder, we're going to find appropriate indoor activities that the families can participate in. We are continuing our partnership with Super Learning Center. This private charter school serves about 100 children with special needs. They turn one of our cabins into a classroom, and they use camp facilities to learn life skills such as cooking, cleaning, yard work, and laundry. So the kids also take care of our reptiles, volunteer to set up for special meetings, and stuff bags for the Chili Open. Summer 2021 is quickly approaching, and we have taken what we have learned from this past summer and are excited to make it more successful into next season. Why we will not be operating at full capacity this summer, we are planning for 9 weeks of camp programs. So, how can you help? You know, I can tell you, I am so grateful for everything that Akron Rotary does to support our camp. While there are a few other Rotary camps out there in the world, I don't think there is any level of support from any other Rotary club in the world like there is with the Akron Rotary Club. There is truly nothing like an Akron Rotarian. We are moving forward with planning for the 31st annual Chili Open. Yes, it is going to look different, but we are going to have just as much fun, socially distant and masked up as we ever have. Please consider joining the committee and making a donation. We do continue to have some limited volunteer opportunities at camp. If you or your family would like to volunteer, let me know. We are not accepting groups of volunteers, but individual projects such as cleaning a cabin or painting a fence or things that can be done independently. The most important thing you can do for camp is to share our story. Yes, we are always looking for donations, but we are also looking for campers, families who need support, and camp counselors. Talk to your neighbors, colleagues, and family members. Come out to camp and take someone for a tour. We are always happy to share the magic. And by popular demand, we are starting a Buy a Brick campaign. Stay tuned, more information will be coming in the following weeks for that. I think one of the most exciting things to look forward to in the next coming months is our next strategic planning process. As we look forward to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Rotary Camp in 2024, we want to continue to demonstrate our relevance in this ever-changing society and to continue to meet the needs of our families, campers, volunteers, Rotarians, and donors. This inclusive project will demonstrate that our Akron Rotary Camp is continuing to fulfill our mission of creating a world where there are only abilities. So at this time, I like to answer any questions that you may have. I hope I wasn't on mute this whole time.
You were not on mute this whole time, Dan. I'm going to give you a little warning after my nap. All right. What questions? John, are you looking at the chat room?
I'm looking at the chat. I don't see any questions yet.
Perfect.
I
So-
am.
I have a question. This is Sandy.
Go ahead, Sandy.
So Dan, how far off the ground, if you said this, I missed it. How far off the ground is the adventure park?
It's really high.
You know how many feet? I mean, like,
I don't know how many feet exactly.
all right.
Yeah, I don't know how many feet, but it's really, it's nice that it's built on the hill because there's some elements that aren't as high as other elements. But I guess I don't know. I don't know if Tina has a
Just
voice
asking as someone who's afraid of heights. Just
Yeah.
trying to figure out if I'm going to go up there or not.
It'll be fun.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
thanks, Tina.
Of course. I think the zip line is about 30 feet, and then the highest element, I believe, is 50, which is like the swing, the Tarzan swing.
Awesome. See?
Yeah.
I surround myself with great people.
Thank you.
Sounds like a good way for you to overcome your fear, Sandy.
Dan, one question that came in from Jack Herrig is, can anyone get an opportunity to try it? How do you get to try it?
Yeah, no, we definitely are working to get everybody an opportunity to try it. I think I was waiting for post-COVID to get the masses and really celebrate the adventure park. But I do look forward to certainly bringing people out and trying it out. Now, if you can't wait until the grand party, we're happy to individually take Rotarians and families out there. So just send Tina an email or a phone call, and we'll be happy to do that.
Okay.
Dan, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Well, one of the things we talked about when camp was in session that would have been able to make things certainly more efficient, and we could have made informed decision-making, was the availability of testing. As you're looking forward to next year, is that something that you're exploring? Because if you can turn around a test in 24 hours and find out that the counselor is negative, we can just move them out of the way so they don't give somebody whatever other virus they have, and then keep things operating. Is that something that you or Joel Davidson, the camp doc, are exploring?
Oh, we would love that. I really haven't delved deep into testing because I feel that testing is outside of my control. But as testing would become more available, I certainly would think it'd be a great resource to helping us, keep our families and campers safe.
Yeah, I will share that, at Akron Children's, I would love to be able to volunteer to test everyone from camp. At this point in time, we went from 0 tests a day that we could do to build the capacity. We are only now at 180 tests a day, which just meets our needs for pre-op testing and sick employees and patients. The turnaround time from sending out has gone from a low of 3 days to a high of 14 days. I think it's around 7 now. So that's really not much help if you're trying to make a decision about go or no go.
Right.
But we are purchasing additional equipment. The first new purchase was supposed to get us to 400 3 weeks ago, and the machine's here, but there's some problems, technical problems with the machine. We have another super machine coming in that we're trying to jump line because we're the only source for pediatric testing in the region, that we would really like to better serve the schools and the school health departments and whatnot. But that one will get us to 2,000. So again, if you're an adult and you need a test, you can go to Rite Aid or you can go to CVS. If you're a child, unless there's a pop-up testing site, which there was this past weekend at the old Summit Mall, there's really limited activity. So I will keep you abreast, Dan, and see if we can find more capacity. I think that really can make you operationally a little more flexible. So
That's fantastic, Dr. Rob. Thank you.
I do. I have another question, Rob, if you want me to.
Go.
Okay. Someone put a question in, love the upcoming brick program. Some people have sponsored benches and those have been removed. Are those plaques being used elsewhere to recognize who sponsored the benches?
No, they're not. The benches, were a great project. It was about 18 years ago when we did the benches, and they had lived their lifespan. So those plaques and those people that sponsored the benches were sponsoring that bench, and the bench had its lifespan, and they sadly had to move on. But there are going to be, like I said, the brick campaign will last forever, and as long as the brick is good, I guess I should say. So, everything has its lifespan.
One more question is the camp going to charge the public to use the zip line?
Yes. Yeah, there are certainly opportunities as we move forward. Like I said earlier, we are not renting our facilities right now, and that includes the zip line. But when we come into our new world, and a new normal, we will rent out the ability to go down the zip line or take part in the adventure park.
Very good. Okay. I don't have any more questions, Rob, for the moment.
All right. Well, Dan, keep us posted. And the risk committee looks forward to the proposal coming in for Chili Opens so that we can make sure that we maximize safety for all. And, the golf outings seem to be working. So it'd be a little cozier, perhaps, if we have to figure out ways around that. But I'm sure your team is already moving, and Jim Redmond's probably all over the big ticket donors. And I was looking at a wheelbarrow this weekend, thinking about, I don't know how we'll operationalize a wheelbarrow chair, but we can figure out something. So thank you, Dan.
Thank you.